Hello, man. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, what can men do? How can we survive? How can we get by? I don't know. And I don't know what to tell you now. I've tried. And it doesn't work. You know, the only types of men who get ahead are men who are willing to screw over other men. That's not MGTOW. You can say that's MGTOW, and you can use that as a weapon against the other men, but it's really, really not MGTOW. That's just the way it is. I wish I could tell you something that would inspire you to find your own voice. My voice is gone. Useless. Actually works against me. Just trying to stay alive. Just trying to get some food. Just trying to get out of the heat. No. Apparently, that's fucked up. I hope you feel good about that. I hope you feel good about fucking over the other men when they were trying to help you. You know, I don't see it as man. I see it as a kind of infected, feminized, emotional creature that just happens to be, human. And this is what it takes. This is what the man has to become. He has to become part of the system. You know, it's not too hard to figure out what's going on. Like, I know, I'm pretty sure that you know that I know. You want to be a womanish man? You want to be an emotional man? You want to be a man who fucks over other men and delights in it and enjoys it? You want to be a gossip? You want to be part of a club? I just wanted to stay alive. That's what the men actually want. They just want to stay alive and be able to build themselves a good life. But for the man, that's not an option anymore. And I don't know what to tell him. You want to go down my road? I don't think you do. I really don't. I can't tell you how to get a woman. I can't tell you how to get a job. I can't tell you how to make your way in the world. I can't tell you how to get along with people. I can't do any of those things. And the only men that I see who can do that, I don't even call them men. They don't look like men. They look like boys. They don't look strong. They don't sound strong. You know, there's a lot of good blue pill men out there. Strong men, healthy men. They're mostly younger, though. And they might say to me, Howard, that's a bunch of bullshit. Look at me. Look at what I can do. And I'm glad. I'm happy for them. At one point, I wanted to be able to do that. I think most men did, and I think most men do. But the price that you have to pay to do that is to be part of their group. And I, as a man, never wanted to be part of the group. When I was a kid, my parents moved into a new neighborhood. And I didn't have any friends. I didn't have anybody to play with. But eventually, I got to know some of the local kids. And it turned out that what these kids liked to do, what they did with their spare time, is that they liked to go downtown, which, wasn't far, and just steal anything that they could get their hands on from the stores, right? I was not prepared for this, but I went along. And I actually got caught the first time. It's a very funny story, but I'm not going to tell it. I went along with that group, and that was actually a really good thing. It turned me into a little criminal and a little hoodlum from a very early age. But it taught me how to interact with those in authority. which was basically, fuck them. But as I got older, like going into high school and stuff, had friends that used drugs and things like that. And again, I did not reject that group. Not entirely. Because I enjoyed it too. But I knew that if it went too far, that it was really dangerous, especially with my early criminal hoodlum background and my contempt for authority. So at a certain level, this was basically like driving around and using and being, just a disrespectful young person. At that point, I said, no, I don't need this. This is not a good idea. And I went my own way. I got involved with computers, gaming systems, like the Atari 4600, I think, just really old, basic stuff. But then I started advancing towards computers. Now, I was still the same person that I was, but the idea of going out with a group of my friends in a car, getting wasted, I knew it was a bad idea. So when they were like, Howard, let's go out, it's Friday, we've got these plans, I was like, no, I'm just going to stay home and work on my stuff. And they were like, well, what the fuck's the matter with you? And I was like, nothing the matter with me. I just want to do some other stuff. Like I could tell that they were going a little bit too far with it. And I didn't want to be part of that. And many of them paid the ultimate price for this type of behavior. And I guess I see the same thing with MGTOW now, right? There's a part of MGTOW that I want to address, or that I wanted to address. The idea of a man, setting his own goals and priorities in life and working and fulfilling, his own personal ambition and vision for his life, becoming strong, becoming healthy, not being angry, not telling other people what to do, but being confident in himself and being strong and healthy and fit. That's my way. And the idea that such a man can be a beacon and a light of leadership to the other men who are searching. That was my goal. That was my ambition. And just like when I was a kid, the other guys were like, fuck you, Howard. If you don't want to go out and drive around town and do our stuff, then you're not a real man. You're not part of the gang. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Then a few months later, I'd get a message. I'd hear that they, had an accident, that they drove off of a cliff, and that 3 of the people in the truck with them died, and they walked away without a scratch. It's all right. Their parents could afford it. You know what I mean? There was no legal problem for them to deal with that they couldn't pay for. And I guess there was nothing that they, anything that they did, they seemed to have this ability to look away from it, not hold themselves accountable for it. In other words, the guy who did this, is still going out the next weekend partying and having a good time and just tossing a few other people in the back of the truck. Right? No blink, no question. I wonder what kind of man that guy became. See, I really don't have to wonder, because I've met thousands of them, the majority of them. And it's not a pretty sight. It's a man who indulges his feelings, indulges his wants and whims and desires, and destroys himself. And well, he should. You know what I mean? Because he's betrayed himself. And he continues to betray himself. He is the unrepentant sinner. And they just get sicker and fatter and weaker and less control, more chaos. Until finally they're just raging, at the world. But they're sick. And the rest of their life is just a slow decline. I do not envy them. And yet, here I am, just looking to stay alive, just looking to get some food. And they condemn me. Now, had they followed my advice or my example, right, they would be no better off. They would pretty much just be where I'm at. I don't know how much longer my microphone is going to last. I don't know how much more time I have with you. But I've done as much as I can. I've said all that I can say on this. I can say more on other things. But I don't know that I'm going to get the chance or the opportunity. As a matter of fact, the harder I work towards my goal, the further and further away it becomes. Kind of like that nightmare dream scene where you're running down the hallway, but the end of the hallway just keeps getting further and further away. That's what it is for me in life. I've told you stories about walking through the burning desert. There's nobody else out there. All about me, real shadows of indignant desert birds. That's all. So what can I tell you? Follow my advice, wind up like Howard Dare. Follow the advice, the advice of a womanish, gossipy man, and you've got the back of a truck to hop into. You get to keep your job. You get to continue to buy your processed food. You get to be popular and part of trends and things like that. Shit, maybe you can even get a fucking microphone. I wish you would. I wish you would get a microphone and try to talk into it and share some of your wisdom and experience so that maybe you can help one of the other men from hopping into the back of the wrong truck. But I'm beginning to doubt even that. It's your life. You do with it what you want. Don't think that there won't be prices to pay for every decision you make and every decision that you don't make. It's true. I can look at a man's face and I can tell what he eats. I can tell what his health is at. I can tell where his mind is at. If he's got that fat, jolly, round face. If he's got that giggly, emotional roller coaster of expression. I know exactly what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with a kind of fiend. I'm dealing with a kind of addict. I'm dealing with some sort of narcissistic monster that has to lie to his own ego to hold on to the identity. What can I say to him? Can I help him, change his course? And should I try to help him change his course? I'll tell you this, if I do, he'll hate me for it. This is one of the things that happened to me. I was trying to help this guy who was really sick, who was part of this group home I was in, and he got offended. His ego got bruised and hurt, and so he trashed me. My reputation. I don't know exactly what lies he told about me, but he just told a bunch of dirty lies, and of course, they threw me out for that. Now he has since passed away. Right? It's no joke. Like, it wasn't like, ha-ha. It was like, to the death. I spit at thee. right? I'm reminded of the scene from, The Wrath of Khan, which then reminds, the literate person of Moby Dick. But the illiterate person is just, we just have to stop there at the Wrath of Khan. And I suppose that's an appropriate place to stop. So let me know if you have any thoughts on this subject. I might read it. I might respond to it. It might make a difference to me. It might make a difference in some other men's lives. It might make a difference to you. Just the ability to express and say something. You understand that you understand that you might be put in jail for that. Okay? If I go to England, I go to jail. I'm on their list. I'm on some really nasty lists. Because I have spoken out. So I don't know if that's the best advice for me to give you. But it is the way that I went. And, at least for me, all things considered, I wouldn't want to be anyplace else than exactly where I am. Like, I'm not saying to myself, gee, I wish I had betrayed my own values and, been this other kind of man. I'm not saying that. So you decide what you want to do. You decide what to think. See, most people, they don't even want to do that. They want to be told what to do. It's like this endless childhood. It's getting so bad. Like the young people, they ask permission to do everything and anything, right? Like I need to ask some other guy if I can make this MGTOW video. It's like, do you not understand what MGTOW is? It's like, no, obviously you don't. Right? If you think I need permission. I'm going to leave it at that. Leave me a comment if you have anything to say. Thank you, man.